You ever do that thing where you open your bank app, look at the number, pause for a second, then close it, and then like 10 seconds later you open it again, just to make sure it didn't change? Yeah, I've done that. And it's not even like you expect it to go up. You're just hoping you saw it wrong the first time. And then you start scrolling through your transactions, and now you're confused. Like, wait, when did I spend $22 here? Why is there another $15 charge? Hold on, I just got paid like 2 days ago. And then it hits you. Not in a dramatic way, it's more like this quiet realization. Bro, I actually don't know where my money is going. And that feeling? It's frustrating, because you're not lazy, you're not doing nothing, you're working, you're trying, but somehow it's just not translating into progress. And the worst part? You already know what you're going to tell yourself. All right, next month. Next month I'll be more disciplined. Next month I'll track my spending. Next month I'll fix everything. But then next month comes, and life happens again. You get busy, you forget, you spend the same way, and now you're back at the same point. Look, I'm going to be real with you. You don't need years to fix your finances. You don't need some crazy side hustle. You don't need to suddenly double your income overnight. You need about 3 months. And I know that sounds like one of those fake promises, like, change your life in 90 days. Yeah, I get it. But this is different. Because I'm not saying you'll be rich in 3 months. I'm saying you can completely change your direction in 3 months. And direction? That's everything. Here's the thing. Most people think financial progress is slow, like this long, painful, step-by-step process. But that's not actually how it works. It's more like nothing changes, nothing changes, nothing changes, then suddenly everything shifts. Your awareness changes, your habits change, your decisions change. And once that happens, your results follow. So instead of trying to fix everything at once, we break it into 3 months. Each one has one job. That's it. No overload, no confusion. Month 1, you're not fixing anything, you're just watching. And I know that sounds almost too simple, like, how is that going to change anything? But this is where it gets really interesting. Most people don't have a money problem, they have an awareness problem. There's actual data that shows people underestimate their spending by like 20 to 30%. Think about that for a second. If you believe you're spending $1,000, you might actually be spending $1,300. That's a $300 gap every month. That's not small. That's the difference between I can't save and I actually could have saved. I just didn't know. So month 1 is just this. Track everything. And yeah, I know your first reaction is, I'm not doing all that. But listen, you don't need anything complicated. No fancy apps, no spreadsheets, just awareness. Write it in your notes, that's it. Every time money leaves your hand, you note it. Even if it's small, especially if it's small. Because here's what happens. At first, nothing. You're just writing numbers. It feels pointless. But then, around day 5, day 6, something clicks. You start catching yourself. You're about to spend money, and your brain goes, wait, I'm going to have to write this down. And suddenly, you pause. That pause? That's power. And this is backed by behavior psychology. When you make something visible, you change how you interact with it. So without even trying to budget, you naturally start reducing spending. People drop like 15 to 20% of their expenses just from tracking. No restrictions, no suffering, just awareness. And here's what most people don't realize. That alone can change your situation. Now, month 2, this is where people usually mess up, because now they go extreme. They're like, all right, no more spending, no eating out, no fun. I'm saving everything. And it sounds good for like 10 days. Then you get tired. You slip once, then twice, then you give up completely. So instead, we do something smarter. We don't control spending by force. We control it by design. 3 buckets. That's it. Needs, wants, future. And the key here is, you're not removing enjoyment from your life. You're just defining it. So let's say you make $1,000. You decide, okay, $600 for needs, $250 for things I enjoy, $150 for my future. Now your spending has structure. You don't feel guilty because it's planned. But here's the most important part. That $150, you move it immediately. Like the second your money comes in, you take that portion out. Different account. Untouchable. Because let's be honest, if you leave it sitting there, you're going to use it. Not because you're bad with money, but because that's how humans work. We spend what's available. So instead of relying on discipline, you remove the option. And I know some people are still thinking, I don't make enough to save. And look, I'm not ignoring that reality, but even something small matters. Like $2 a day, that's $60 a month. In 3 months, $180. Is that life-changing? No, but that's not the point. The point is, you just proved to yourself, I can control my money. And that belief is way more powerful than the amount. Now, month 3, this is where things actually start moving, because now you know where your money goes and you've got control over it. So now, we optimize. First step, we cut the big leaks. Not the small stuff. Forget the $3 coffee. That's not the problem. The problem is the stuff you don't notice. Subscriptions you forgot. Eating out more than you realized. Services you're overpaying for. You cut like $150, $200 here. That's serious. Then, we increase income. But not in the way most people think. Not like, I'm just going to work more hours. Because that has a limit. You'll burn out. Instead, you increase your value. Let's say you're making $5 per hour. If you work 10 extra hours, you make $50. But if you improve your skill, and now you earn $8 per hour, same 10 hours, now it's $80. Same effort, better output. And this is where everything starts stacking. You're spending less, saving automatically, earning more. So let's do real math. $150 saved, $100 cut from expenses, $100 extra income. That's $350 in 1 month. In 3 months, over $1,000. And for a lot of people, that's the first time they've ever seen that kind of money just sitting there. Not spent, not gone, just there. But here's the part no one talks about. Money is not just math. It's behavior. You don't spend because you need things. You spend because of how you feel. Stress, boredom, fatigue, habits. Like, think about it. You're tired. You order food, not because you need it, but because it feels good. So if you just try to stop spending, you'll fail. Instead, you replace the behavior. Same trigger, different response. I'm tired, I'll cook something simple. I'm bored, I'll go outside. Now you're not fighting yourself, you're redirecting yourself. And that's how real change happens. So yeah, 3 months, not to become rich, not to be perfect, but to finally feel like, okay, I understand my money now. I control it. I'm not lost anymore. And look, 3 months from now is coming anyway. The only question is, are you going to be in the same place? Or are you finally going to take control? If this helped you, subscribe, because next, we're breaking down how to turn your first $1,000 into something way bigger. And trust me, that's where things really start to get interesting.